Scorpio, hello. Welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute, I know. Hope your summer's getting off to a great start and that you're enjoying the summer season. This is going to be your monthly reading for July 2025. Alrighty, let's see what the cards have to say for you today. Show me Scorpio for July. It's funny, I always pre-shuffle the cards prior to, the readings that I do, but this showed up at the bottom of the deck and I was like, okay, Scorpio is here. Scorpio is ready for the reading. Show me July for Scorpio, please. Last time. Show me what Scorpio can expect in July 2025, please. Thank you. Six of Swords. That's really nice. Traveling into some kind of calmer waters, which is lovely. I feel like Scorpios have been going through it a little bit. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm not. So this is really nice to see here, right? Moving into a smoother direction here. Perhaps the tides are calming as opposed to turning, right? Wow. Pivotal month here for you, Scorpio. Very interesting. Okay, we have the Hanged Man here, right? So some new perspective. Perhaps you've stopped and listened and you are really, feels like perhaps taking your time with something, right? And listening, trying to garner, some new perspective, some new, a new angle of looking at something, right? The Empress energy here showing up in the heart of your reading, which is really nice to see. That mother energy, divine mother, divine feminine showing up for you here. So really it feels like leaning into your feminine energy and seeing that softer side of you, Scorpio, which is really lovely, right? Giving birth to new idea. And perhaps this Hanged Man, you've utilized him well and sat with something for some time in order to see, gain some new wisdom here. And then the Empress is allowing you to act on it, right? Then with that star kind of showing up progressively next to it, beautiful, because whatever this is, and this new idea or this, could be giving birth as well, or giving birth to new idea, whatever this is, it really means it's important work for you, right? The star showing up here, your goal, your dream, your desire, right? This high level thing that you're aiming for. And it seems that this is perhaps the month where things start clicking for you, Scorpio, okay? Six of Swords as well could relate to travel, right? So not just the kind of mental path of traveling forward, moving on, could also be physical, okay? 10 of Swords showing up in the shadow here. Again, really glad to see it because it does feel like whatever you were taking this kind of time to gain new perspective on, you did it and you put something to an end here, right? Hopefully it is that 5, right? I would like to say it is putting an end to some sort of conflict here, some sort of flight or fight response. The idea of what are we really fighting for? This feels like you have gained direction, and here you have said goodbye to not having any, right? Showing up with a purpose, okay? And that is beautiful. Let's get some more clarification here for Scorpio, please. Show me Scorpio, please. Let's get some clarifiers for Scorpio, please. Let's get some clarifiers here for Scorpio last time. Thank you. You know, it's interesting too, we have like Aquarius energy on the board, right? Which is, you know, just kind of leads more into that Hanged Man, that new perspective, right? Aquarius is constantly looking for new perspective, or looking for a new way to see things, new way to see the world, right? And so I find that to be really quite beautiful, that you've kind of capitalized on that energy, or you're really taking that energy and using it to your benefit, right? Interesting. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, and that's clarified by the King of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Devil here. I'm wondering if you're, so the Devil is Capricorn energy. I'm wondering if you're kind of using your emotional intelligence here, and really kind of battling with the devil, if you will, battling with that side of you that, you know, feels you can't do it. And I'm wondering if that's kind of what we've been struggling with here, kind of putting an end to this having any sort of hold or grip or power over you. Really kind of navigating through this idea that I don't deserve it, right? That's coming up. So if that resonates, please take that. If not, you know, something along that vein of you're truly wrestling with, or open to interacting with this double energy. This again could be Capricorn in a different way, right? And utilizing the best of you, right? So not giving in to every emotion on a whim. We're picking and choosing our battles as a good king does, right? And so kind of maneuvering in a way that, hey, this doesn't have power over me anymore, right? Interesting. Okay. There's that 5 again. Well, okay. All right. Let's see here. So Hanged Man here, we've got the Knight of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So yeah, like definitely in your head here, right? Almost, okay, that Knight of Swords feels like he's leaving. And that Three of Swords, I want to say he's taking it with him, in terms of we're getting rid of that pain, or getting rid of some part of it, or at least taking one sword away with him, right? So lessening the hurt that's here. Page of Swords, new thought, new perspective, and at least getting excited about how we can implement that going forward, right? So this idea of perhaps a high level concept, and then trying to put that into practical use here is what I'm seeing. So high level, you have decided, say, you know, I'm good enough. And then from a practical standpoint, I no longer need to get external validation from others, right? Okay, so we know that. Cool. Practically, I'm going to go forward and, you know, give positive affirmations to myself, right? So the hurt is not completely gone, but it is being taken away by you implementing this new perspective, or these new thoughts that are coming into play. Whatever this is, it is heavy. And it's something that you've carried for some time, which is why it's taking so long, right? But it feels like you're slowly getting there. You're slowly moving on and saying, okay, I don't need to, this is not my burden to carry anymore. I don't need to be full of this hurt. This hurt is not serving me anymore. So I can at least get rid of a little bit of it and start to kind of take the pain away from myself and start looking forward into different perspective and start looking at life from a different viewpoint, right? Not only just seeing the hurt or the darkness, right? As Scorpios, we can get lost in that a little bit. So it's important we can see the light as well and see that optimism, right? And so that kind of feels like what that Hanged Man is processing for you. Okay, with the Empress here, we have the Two of Pentacles, the World, and that 10 of Swords coming up. So yeah, definitely an end here and embracing that end. It's difficult, right? And again, with the amount of sword energy that's here, you are definitely in your head about something. This is a mental game. This is a mental battle. And with that Devil, it is not entirely surprising because that Devil is mental, right? When we give control to him, we do not have control over ourselves, or we do not have control over aspects of ourselves. And then we start losing ourselves to that, right? And then we start overthinking, or we lose control over how we are thinking, which makes sense that you're showing up as the best of yourself and saying, I need to combat this to the best of my ability. And this is the how, right? This is how you are doing it. Well, I'm chipping away a little bit at a time, at one sword at a time, and saying, okay, I used to think I wasn't good enough. I fed into that. I know I'm good enough. And this is what I'm going to do going forward to prove to myself that I am, day in and day out, right? That new perspective, that new wisdom, and implementing it. With the Empress here, Two of Pentacles, the priorities have shifted, right? You are no longer giving energy to something that does not serve you. You are no longer sticking around in something that is painful to you, is hurting you. And even if it is just mentally, right? That mental game is so important, where we, what we sit in affects where we land in our physical landscape, right? So you have to get your mind on point to start moving forward, right? And to start really maneuvering in your physical landscape the way that you want to, right? You first have to show up for yourself in the best possible way. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here with this Empress. It's like a tendency, maybe you overgive, or you don't know boundaries, right? And so it's kind of saying, okay, the world, we're putting an end to this, and we're putting an end to this in a very impactful way, a very meaningful way, a very monumental way. With that World and that 10 of Swords, this is ending. This needs to end. We are done, right? This can exist no more for us. We need to embrace that divine feminine, embrace that acceptance and that love. And if that is something that you struggle with, right? Again, finding tools and ways to figure out, okay, how can I give this to myself? How can I nurture myself? How can I mother myself? And guide myself through love and grace and kindness, right? And of course, that Mother Nature aspect of it as well. How do I ground myself, right? Because there is so much sword energy. There is so much mental on the board here. How do I breathe and put my feet on the ground and stay grounded within all of this difficult, challenging work that you have going on mentally? Okay, Scorpio, heading into this star here, you have the 6 of Wands, the 8 of Swords, and the 2 of Swords here. Yeah, it furthers the conversation, right? Because there is a recognition here of, I'm going to show up and I'm going to show this devil who's boss, meaning I'm in control. Scorpio is in control. This is not. I've gained this new perspective. I know how to fight this battle and I know how to win. And you're playing the long game, right? You might lose a couple battles, but you're in it. You're in it for the long haul. You will win this war. And you know that, right? This needs to come to an end. I know that my priorities are shifting and there is disruption there, right? You are feeling unsettled, and there's kind of this recognition of that's what it takes. I need to feel unsettled because I am disrupting this core part of me that no longer needs to be here. It does not fit anymore, and I need to move from it. It needs to end, right? And so there's a recognition of that. Moving into the star here, there is that progression of confronting that what is holding you back. And, spoiler alert here, what is holding you back is yourself with regard to what this perspective is, right? And that devil exists in us, right? And I point to my throat chakra. I feel like that's important here. What are we saying to ourselves that is not right? What are we feeding ourselves that does not fit? That hurts us, that is poison, right? Going inside our system, inside our body, that we are allowing to happen because that is just what we've done, right? That is what you are. That's what this feels like you are confronting. And you are addressing it from a place of love and light and grace and patience for yourself, right? It's almost like you see yourself up here, and I don't know if you meditate or how this clarity has come to be, but it feels like there is that clarity there of, like I said, that high level concept of, I don't deserve to treat myself like this anymore. I'm better than this, right? And then that idea of coming down to earth, and then how do we practically do this with, jobs that, we have to pay our bills some way, right? And so life gets messy that way. Well, we have duties and responsibilities. Perhaps we have family, we have children that we need to care for, right? So then you're adding that layer on top of it that's taking you, kind of away from this work, because there are certain priorities and demands of your time that are, hard and fast and important, right? And this is long time work, right? That's what I'm saying. You're in it for the long haul here. But there is this recognition of, we need to confront that Eight of Swords. We need to confront that which is holding us back. And what is it? What have we been feeding inside of us? What have we been saying to ourselves, throat chakra, that is taking us away from who we are meant to be and where our path is leading us to, right? And so with that Two of Swords here, it's like, okay, there's some great energy coming in, right, from what you've learned from that high level concept, from that Mother Nature energy, and nurturing yourself in that way, mothering yourself, being gentle and patient, right? You have that energy and it feels good, and you're ready to confront that part of you, right? But it's hard. It's challenging, and it's almost like we have to sit in that, and that's what I'm seeing here. It's like this sitting in this in the binds that we keep ourselves in order to really feel it, right? And perhaps this might be the first time where you're realizing or allowing yourself to, I don't want to say really feel, but really sit in and marinate, I guess would be a good word, in how much you have limited yourself and held yourself back, right? Like how much you have allowed X to hold yourself back, person, place, or thing, right? But even if that is person, place, or thing, it ultimately, you have made that choice, right? And so sitting in that kind of recognition of that. So again, it's like this high level into, let's be practical here and think of this in a methodical way. And so that's what I'm seeing here. We have the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and then that, or sorry, the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and then that Five of Swords coming up again, right? Yeah, I mean, for a lot of you, this does look like trauma. It feels like that fight or flight response, right? And how do we let go of triggering that, which is something that is really hard. How do you combat that, right? New perspective, moving you forward. And knowing that if it does flare up, say, you have enough strength and wisdom and life experience to know that you can maneuver around it. You know, it's interesting, before I started the reading, the Five of Cups came up, right? Before I started shuffling, and I showed that to you. And you're anywhere but here now. You know what I mean? It's almost like all of your attention is on this mental game, is on this new perspective and how you combat that, right? And the energy here looks good, but the work is heavy, right? And it's not a thing of like, I don't know. It's necessary. What you're doing here is necessary, and you know that, and you're kind of like, okay, no, I need to do this, right? The king meets the devil. The best of you meets the worst, right? And how are you directing your energy and maneuvering around? It's a battle. Interesting. Okay. Let's get some more clarification here for Scorpio. Let's get some more clarification for Scorpio, please. Let's get some more clarification for Scorpio. Last time. Thank you. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's almost like, he's reading that map, right? And he sees where he has to go, or he sees where he wants to go, right? Where that, it could be a treasure map. It could be, he sees his destination. You see your destination, right? And you're moving through it. You are navigating your map. You're navigating your journey, your path, right? And it's a challenge. That's beautiful. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man and the Hanged Man, right? New perspective, new thought, sitting in it, not doing anything too rash, right? Seven of Swords. That idea of Seven of Swords deals in deceit, right? Self-sabotage, a thief, right? Thievery. With this here, he's ready. And he's staring down at you saying, here I am, come get me. Here I am, stop me. Right? He's ready. He's there. And with this imagery, it's almost like that is what you are confronting. You are confronting the side of you that no longer serves you. You are confronting the old habits. Right? And that is the work. You're navigating your way through and away from your Seven of Swords. But in order to navigate away from it, you have to work through why they were there in the first place and come to an understanding of why they no longer fit. And when they want to come up, these old habits, you have to one by one, right? Take those swords and say, no, you don't fit anymore. No, you don't fit anymore. Nope, you served me really good and you almost tricked me, but you don't work for me anymore. And slowly pick them away and take them apart and say, you no longer serve me. I return you to the universe in grace. Right? And that's what you're doing. And it's hard, but it's your work. And this is your path. Right? 8 of Cups here, walking away. Yes. Yes. Right? She is turning her back on some sort of creature comfort here. Walking into the sunset, walking into the moon. She might not know exactly where she's going, but she's got a good idea. And she knows what she needs to leave behind in order to get there. Just like you know what you need to leave behind, each of these swords, in order to get to where you want to go. To that star. Right? Which is where you're headed. You need to address these ideas, right? These things that are holding you back and let them go one by one by one by one until they're all gone. And you need to sit there until that work is done. And that's what July is. Sitting in these uncomfortable thoughts and these uncomfortable moments so that you can release them and move forward. Right? Magician here, you are doing this work. You are manifesting this change. You are making this change happen. We're not making fetch happen. We're making change happen. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. 3 of Cups, celebrate that. 2 of Pentacles, a change in your priorities. Celebrate that you are changing in a foundational way. Who you are, what you rely on, the best version of you is coming. You are doing that through this. And remember that when it gets rough, you know what I mean? Like, you're no stranger to confronting yourself and changing yourself. The Death card is you for a reason, Scorpio. But it's almost like, yes, okay, we can say that, oh, Scorpio, they're used to change and transformation. It's literally their card. But also give yourself that grace to say, yes, we deal often in change as a Scorpio, but this change is really hard. And give yourself that grace and that credit and that leeway to say, and that patience, that I'm doing this. And yes, I can do it. But yes, it is also hard. Right? Yeah, I just feel like the tide is turning. To go back to that, right? Your journey is turning. You are coming into more control here as you pick away these swords. Right? So keep doing you. Keep doing that work, Scorpio. It's, there's a strength here that is very unique in that you can face all of this and you are doing it. You're doing it your way. Right? Ugh. Giving me goosebumps, Scorpio. That's what I have for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to peek into July here. You're doing the thing. Look at those butterflies though, right? Change. Oh, that's awesome. I hope you appreciate this reading just as I appreciate you checking in. Put it in the comments, okay? Let me know how you're manifesting this change for yourself. So I'm so happy to hear from you guys always. Yeah, always a pleasure, Scorpio. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And as always, I wish you all the very best. Okay? You take care. We'll see you next time.